Selman for this amazing just an amazing conversation. Like you, Apostle Selman, I sit at the intersection of faith and education, minister in the church, but also been a teacher, principal, district leader, done a lot of work at the intersection of education and faith while simultaneously holding the faith. One of the things I want to go to right away was this question or this point that you made around fanaticism, extremism. And you said it in a brilliant way. You talked about the importance of keeping one's faith, but also hearing and being able to hear, respect other individuals' faith. I think one of the things that we're struggling with, particularly in this country now, is that extremist sort of focus, or the belief, and can I just say sometimes it's with Christian people in this country, the belief that if I listen to others and not project my sort of faith, sort of dominant perspective, then I in some ways am showing less of my faith. Can you talk a little more about that? Because to you, it was really important to be in a position where I can hear others, I can respect others, I can in some ways acknowledge and celebrate others, but never feel like I have to change who I am from a religious perspective. Can you say a little more about that?
Amazing. Thank you very much. Very powerful and intelligent question. Now, I think that what is extremism? Extremism has to do with misunderstanding your faith and the role that faith has to play, you see. And permit my bias as a Christian, when you practice extremism in Christianity, you are trying to take the place of God in convicting the people. You see that? Jesus, who is the epicenter of the Christian practice, in studying his earth walk, he related with people and he was silent to listen to people as they communicated their various perspectives. Whether it's John 4 with the woman, the prostitute at the well, he sat with tax collectors. He was not influenced by them, but they were happy that he had an open-hearted, they were very frank conversations. In fact, the scripture that represents the core of the Christian faith, permit me, John 3:16, came as a result of a discourse between an intelligent man and Jesus. So Nicodemus came to Jesus, the Bible tells us, and he began to probe him along the lines of, why he was here and so on and so forth. And you would think that Jesus would turn and say, get out of this place. You're one of those people who offend me. You're one of those nasty people. But he gave him room to express himself, and they began to build a conversation. So this is my perspective. I do not believe, and this is my personal opinion, I do not believe you have to fight, tear down, insult people to communicate your faith. I do not think, in particular, the Christian faith teaches that. I do not believe that. And so if a Christian in this instance practices that, I think the problem may be the system of mentorship that the person has submitted himself to. Because you see, permit me, Prof, religion is like a gun. It depends on who is holding it. If a military man holds that gun, good for the nation. If a terrorist holds the same gun, bad for the nation. The gun itself does not destroy. The gun assumes the character of the one who holds it. This is my concept, and this would be my response to that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't expect to hear religion like a gun today, but that's powerful. That's amazing. That's powerful. So what we've done in this country in some ways, I'll just tell about us, in light of what you were saying about Africa, is what we've said, because we can't trust that people might go in that direction of fanaticism, We will have no religion talked about in the context of public schools. Talk about the risk of that.
My lecture at the School of Divinity had a point of emphasis that from time immemorial, Prof, all men, regardless religious affiliations, have always had a drive to connect to something, to someone. Now, my apologies if you do not believe in God. I respect your perspective. But then I will tell you that all men crave for connection. To connect to their environment, to connect sometimes with dimensions higher than themselves. This has driven us, I said in my speech, to test, try, experiment any and every available means that can help feed that appetite for connection. So I respectfully disagree with the philosophy that advocates completely taking God out of a system. This is my humble opinion, and with every sense of respect and honor to the laws of your land and your religious orientation or otherwise. This is my humble perspective. The reason is because in as much as we have all kinds of limitations around the practice of religion, that includes Christianity, Islam, most religions, in my personal study, and believe me when I tell you I've studied a number of world religions, you see, I have found out that at the core of their teachings, there is a straight line that seems to unite these perspectives, albeit eventually people diverge to various thoughts. But matters of love, matters of empathy, let's use that for a case study. So even if it's to preserve faith practices on account of their ability to promote love, empathy, unity, I think it is worth it. Now, when a people are not governed by spiritual convictions, the laws of the land will only go so far. That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. You see, so I do not have the professional capacity to probe into the factors that may have led to formulating some of these policies, but then my humble observation, and that will also be my suggestion, is that I am a firm believer that any individual is not complete and whole outside of your touch to spirituality, outside of your touch to your Creator. This is my humble observation.
I want to plant the seed, powerful statement there. I want to plant the seed for the work of a professor at Columbia University. Her name is Lisa Miller. And Lisa Miller is doing study on the brain, doing imaging sort of study on the brain, and how the brain seems to be sort of designed in such a way that spirituality is a core part of what
Absolutely.
it seeks.
Absolutely.
Right? So she's actually trying to use scientific study to show that spirituality is actually critical in the makeup of how the brain is designed, which would confirm what you're saying. One of the things you talked a little bit about, what you hinted on it, I want to go a little further into it, and it was your personal background, education. Can you talk a little, you talked about colonialism and indigenous, talk a little bit about how you were brought up from an education standpoint, what that experience looked like. Maybe, I always love asking this question, a favorite teacher you had that actually impacted you in a significant way, so that we can dive a little more deeply into the person, Selman.
Well, my grandfather was one of the first trustees of a denomination across northern Nigeria. So I come from a lineage of missionaries. And so that gave a very great leverage, born Christian home, lovely place. And then I think that most of my educational interactions have been around mission schools and seminaries. And this has helped to shape my mindset. I give the credit to a there man, he's still alive. He's called Archbishop Benjamin Kwashi. And so he was a great influence in helping to build the educational community that trained us. You know, we learned values like respect, morals. I remember you were prohibited from taking candy or such and then throwing it on the ground. He would ask you to pick it up, you know, and so on and so forth. So those were the earliest memories of shaping my mind. I also attended an Air Force school, and so, but then having this religious contributions, it helped to shape my understanding. I truly believe that part of who and what I am today is also credited to these formative years, the opportunities that, you know, came as a result of that. I do not know if I would still be the Joshua Selman today if I didn't pass through some of those things. I truly believe that they represent the anchors of my conviction today. Yes, and so I would just say the teachers were wonderful people. We had vigils, we had prayer, we had all kinds of things. We had activities that created bonding, mutual respect. You know, we were taught languages and several other things. And I feel that when an individual has an opportunity to pass through a system that is faith-based, again, my opinion, I believe you are at a greater advantage. Truly, I believe that. The difference became clear when we looked at some of our contemporaries who did not have the privilege. Some of them had to, with all due respect, delve into drugs, delve into so many things, you know, and some of them up till now, some have lost their lives, some have become inmates incarcerated in prison. And so I think that that foundation of moral excellence credited to faith-based expressions in our lives have contributed immensely to who I am today. And I believe this is true for many people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
My final question, and we'll see if we have a question or so from the audience. When people ask me over the years why I do what I do as a teacher, as a principal, as a district leader, the work that I've done, one of the things that I say, and I wonder if you would say the same, is I feel like I'm called to do it. Wow. How many people have used that word? I feel a calling on my life.
Absolutely.
And that's oftentimes, we often respond this way about secular work. So not necessarily about the preaching that I do, but about the teaching or the leading of schools. I feel a calling. Answer this question, if you would, for us. What does a calling mean to you? And how do you make sense of the fact that you were called to do this spiritual work while having an impact on the world in many significant ways?
Very lovely question. I don't see a call as a religious statement. I understand a call to mean your contribution to your world when you discover yourself, when you discover your giftings, when you refine yourself. Responding to your call is bringing honor to yourself by allowing that which is within you to be released to your world to make it a better place. So for me, your call is your contribution to making your world and your environment a better place. And it doesn't have to be from a religious, fanatical. So I consider a preacher and a lecturer, a chef, and an administrator, if their motivation is to be a blessing, I consider them called. Now, I would say this, Prof. I would say this. I was greatly mentored by the late Dr. Miles Monroe.
Yes, Miles Monroe.
Now, Dr. Miles Monroe was an incredible person. When I was beginning, this work, I wrote a letter to so many people, just asking their perspectives. It was Dr. Miles Monroe who replied me back, handwritten. He encouraged me and let me know that I could become anything.
Beautiful.
I loved him because he approached faith and nation building from an intelligent, non-fight non-fanatical, non-extremist standpoint. He had the largest church then in Bahamas, and yet he was advisor to many presidents.
Yes.
Did you know, I hope my history is still right, that when Nelson Mandela was about to be released, he and one other were the people who were delegated to go and receive him. So these are people whose impact moves from faith but beyond the walls
Absolutely.
of religion.
Absolutely.
So with that backdrop, I made up my mind that I wanted to be an individual not just known for spirituality, but from the springboard, the standpoint of spirituality, that I'm able to spread my influence to affect all and sundry, regardless your faith orientation, regardless your religious affiliation. I believe that I have a contribution to make to your life. And if I propose to you what is behind my convictions, and even if you reject it, it is still not enough reason to not impact you. There is always something you can learn. By the way, Selman means the way to love. You will want to know that.
One last thing before we end on this calling point, just so it sinks in with everybody. Everyone turn and find someone, look them dead in the eye, turn and look at somebody, look at someone, and ask them this question. Do you know your calling? Do you know your calling? Well, let's give Apostle Selman a round of applause real quick.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you again so much. And the panelists can still remain here. This was such a phenomenal event. Apostle Selman, I hope this is not the last time that you'll be coming to Harvard. Can we get that on record? Will you be coming back again?
I hope, I pray, I think.
So it's on record that he'll be coming back, okay? Because we did not have nearly enough time with you here at the Graduate School of Education. I think that other parts of the university would want to engage with you. And the note that he ended on with, too, I just want to... That blesses me so much. So Dr. Miles Monroe was my pastor in the Bahamas and my mom's pastor. And so as a kid, every Saturday I would sell fruits with my mom to him and his wife, Ruth. And he wrote my letter of recommendation for college to come to the United States. And, to think about the impact that he's had on your life, and now you're coming back here. And it's so powerful because when we think about the mission of the Harvard Graduate School of Education, it's about preparing leaders and innovators in education to provide opportunities for learners from all around the world. And that story is so interconnected, right? It's connecting the Bahamas with Nigeria, with the United States of America too. And so this is such an incredible moment. I want, before we leave, we have a gift to give you on behalf of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And I want to invite a couple of folks here to be a part of this presentation. Ruth Okedeji is one of our faculty members, Delia Umano, my mom from the Bahamas, and then Marty West. Please come up, Marty, our academic dean. Yeah, please come down. And feel free to take pictures too. We believe that in the scriptures it says your gift will make room for you. And whenever you come into the presence of someone with greatness, you want to come bearing gifts. When folks came to Jesus' birth, they came bearing gifts. And so we have awesome swag here at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. So there's a moleskin in here so that you can write your notes on this Harvard ledger. There's a nice water bottle, so that there's living water coming out of you. So we're going to put some actual water on you. And then we got a bag in here too. So this is for your blessing. So when people come and give into your bag, there's something that they can receive too. So again, thank you so much for coming to Harvard. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to say something.
Peter, you're a tough act to follow. Apostle Selman, it's a delight to have you here. What Peter said about our mission really captures what it is we're trying to do at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and would welcome any opportunity to partner with you going forward. So thank you.
And Ruth, you're not going to escape. This is my spiritual moment here. Come here. You're not going to escape. You got to say a little something.
Thank you all for being here. I want to thank Marty, who is just, we don't see each other enough, but we know we're here. And I know that he thinks and prays about this institution and about other colleagues and certainly about the School of Education. And I said to both Dr. Scott and Professor Blair that for those of you who are Harvard students and Harvard faculty, you rarely see the School of Education in the Crimson or the Gazette or in the New York Times. But when we think of what knowledge does to open the way for faith, for the improvement of humanity, for contributions to society, this is the crown jewel of Harvard University. And I'm so grateful for Marty's leadership, for all of you, for the work that is happening here, because education not only opens doors, but it is a leveler. It's the thing that people will look at and say, God has given you a gift. You can go out and be whoever you want to be. Every teacher has been such a blessing in my life. My parents were teachers, and so I'm incredibly grateful to the Harvard School of Graduate Education. Thank you.
All right. And just one other thing, I'm known for my selfies, so I need to get you folks into a selfie. So please come here. And then after that, we have a very delicious
Selfies, would you permit me so he can do this?
Oh, sure. Okay, sure. Yeah. And we have a very delicious spread outside of wonderful refreshments.
Come on, you guys, let's take a picture so people can eat.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the food outside as you exit. It's going to be on your left here. We have a really nice spread. And if you've come in from out of town to Harvard, please traverse the campus and see all that we have to offer here. Welcome.